What's up, guys? It's Ryan here again with East Coast Athletics. But as usual, before I start everything, I want a minute so I could do a few things, make a few checks before, we get all into it. Okay. Just one more. Alright. So we're gonna turn that off. Alright. So guys, tonight I have three really important things that I want to talk to you guys about. And the first one is pretty much me giving you guys some information, some news as it relates to some performances that I would say happened over the past weekend. I know almost everyone know Michael Norman, one of America's top 400 meter runner right now. He also runs the 200. However, over the weekend, he ran the 100 meter, breaking 10 seconds, running a time of 9.86, which adds him to a group of individuals who all break. All right, I don't want to say all break, but they ran below 10 seconds, below 20 seconds in the 200, and below 44 seconds in the 400. So right there, I think he's third in terms of points because they rank it based on points. So I think they have Bolt as number one. I mean, I don't know why. I guess because he have the fastest 100 and 200, so that give him a lot of points to put him at number one. But in that list of athletes is also Michael Johnson, Wade Van Niekerk, and you have Tyson Gay as well. So Usain Bolt, Wayne Van Niekerk, Michael Johnson, and Tyson Gay. So I think that Michael Norman is presently at third because his 100 meter time is 9.86, his 200 meter time is 19.70, and his 400 meter time is 43.45. So he is. Sup, Randy? So he is third on the list, but at the top of the list is Usain with 9.58, 1919, and 45.32. And in second is Michael Johnson with 10:03, 1932, and 43.18. Wade Van Niekerk was in third with 998, 1986, and 4303. Yeah. But the whole point of it is the points from the 100 and the 200 really, you know, plays a big role into the amount of points each athlete gets um, towards, putting them higher on the rank. Because I'm not 100% certain if it's, IAF rank or not, but I know I would assume that it's IAF because it's a worldwide thing. It's not just for America or, what's up, Joseph? It's not just in America, and it's not just, maybe in European countries or whatever. It's worldwide. So as I said, Usain Bolt is in it, and there are 3 Americans that are now on that list of athletes who pretty much run great times in the 100, 200, and 400. So again, Usain Bolt is at number one, followed by Michael Johnson in second, and then Michael Norman is now in third, and then Wade Van Niekerk is in fourth, Tyson Gay is in fifth. So that's pretty much the list of athletes who all break 10 second, 20 second, and 44 seconds. So also in that race, I think Roy Benjamin ran a PR as well. He ran 10.03. So, I mean, it's kind of weird because they haven't really been competing a lot, but they have been training. I'm not saying anything is wrong with the time, so nobody, please don't attack me, guys. Nothing is wrong with the time. Yeah. You say, well, you're asking a good question, but I think the reason for that, Joseph, is the fact that is the fact that Johnson ran a faster 200-meter time. That is what put him ahead of Wade, if that's really what you're asking. Yeah, you say how Michael Johnson before Wade. Yeah, because he ran a faster 200-meter time, that gives him more points compared to Wade time. And remember, he has a similar time to Wade. So he ran 43:18 and Wade ran 43:03. So the time is not far apart where that is concerned. And in the 100, the time is still not far apart because Johnson ran 10.03 and Wade ran 9:98. So the time is pretty close, and that's the reason why Johnson is ahead, because Johnson has, I would say, a half a second faster time in the 200-meter. Well, yeah, almost a half a second. No, it's more than a half a second. Yeah, because 1932 and 1986, yeah, it's more than half a second. So that's the reason why he's ahead. But anyways, that's really not the major topic for the night, or the major thing that I want to talk about. There's 2 other things that I want to talk about. And Coach L, you here? I think you missed me talking about your boy Michael Norman. I think they're both coached by Quincy Watt, famous American track athlete. Yeah, Coach L is here. Whenever Coach L joins the live, we gotta announce his presence. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much how it is. He's always here. When he can't be here, you let us know. But the next topic that I'm about to talk about is it's kind of sad, and I'm glad Coach L is here so he could shed some light. Kim Hicks is how many titles does Michael Johnson has compared to Wade? I think he has more titles than Wade. Because in total he has 16 gold medals, either 16 or 14 gold medals. He has no silver, no bronze, just all golds. So I think he has more titles. Um, but as I was saying, the next topic that I want to talk about, Coach Hicks and Coach L, is here, so they could definitely shed some light on it. I was reading, and the article was posted in a chat that I know I'm gonna know about it, but I don't know how much or the amount of information that you guys could give about it is the MEACs. I based on the article, it's saying that the fall the fall sports, all sports for fall season, um, within the MEAC school, the MEAC conference has been canceled. Um, so that means Morgan State, Coppin State, Delaware State, um, A&T, Florida A&T, and I think North Carolina A&T, Norfolk State, all those schools that are within the MEAC, all the sports. So there will be no cross country for MEACs. I guess no basketball, none of that stuff. How, how I don't understand what's gonna happen going forward, because that's really weird, and I don't understand. You said Bethune Cookman, yeah. I totally forgot them, but I don't know how things are gonna work going forward, because if there's no cross country, is it because they don't want athletes to train because too much, they don't want a congregation of athletes in one place practicing? What is really going on as it relates to that, Coach L? Because I'm trying to make sense of it. Oh, so basketball would be in January. So what about track? What about cross country? How is that gonna work? I'm not sure when the baseball season is. Oh, athletes. So athletes can still practice. So that's pretty clear. The athletes can still practice, but I'm assuming they can't compete in any cross country events, because the article didn't specify whether the athletes are gonna be allowed to practice or not, or if they can't compete, because if it says no fall sports, I'm assuming that competition is canceled. But I would assume for athletics they have to practice, because you can't just go indoor. You can't just get up in January and say, "Oh, I'm gonna run indoor track." That's not how it works. You have to practice throughout the fall season in order to be ready for spring. Well, I guess winter and spring. Yeah, so that's something that I wasn't really clear on. And I also wanted to know, like, why? What's the legitimate reason? I know that this COVID-19 stuff is affecting volleyball and cross country for Coppin. Okay. So those are the two sports that are being affected at Coppin. Oh, so you guys have random COVID testing every 2 weeks. So I hope whoever is watching this live stream, you guys are paying attention to the comments that are, you know, being left in the comment box or in the chat, because Coach L and Coach Hicks, they are, coaches within the MEAC, so they have information that I personally don't have. So that's one of the reasons why I love having them here, because when they're here, whatever information that I try to provide that I'm not super clear on, they provide a lot of clarity to that. So I'm happy to have them here all the time, because I mean, yes, it's it's my channel, but at the same time, I'm not always right, and I don't always have all the information. It's a learning process all the way around. I learn from others and others learn from me. So, you know, I just want to make sure that whatever information is being given to others, it's accurate information. So as I said, um hope you guys are paying attention to the chat or in the comment section where you see the everybody commenting and saying stuff. Yeah, so as Coach Chick said, it's affecting. Oh, okay. So each school has their own COVID plan. So Coppin is gonna be different from Morgan, and Morgan is gonna be different from Norfolk, and so on and so forth. So I guess that's something that we all gotta think about on different levels. So Coach Hicks is pretty much saying that the whole reason behind the cancellation of the fall sports is pretty much to prevent the spread of COVID-19, within the sporting arena. And also he said that they have random testing every 2 weeks. So I think that is a good plan. I think that is a good thing, because at the end of the day, even though I know a lot of athletes, they really want to compete, but safety is definitely something that we got to put first. So that's definitely something good to have in place. Okay, so you're saying each school have a similar plan but slightly different. They're responsible for how they go about their plan, which is a good thing, because every school is not the same. It's not in the same state, and it's not, well, it's not in the same state, as well as that state criterias or measures for preventing COVID-19 is different. So that's something that I guess each school got to take into consideration. So that's really good. I wasn't clear on that, but I'm glad that Coach Hicks and Coach L was able to clear that up. So again, let me just go over it one more time. Each school has their own COVID plan to help prevent the spread of COVID-19, and it's quite similar but a little different. And that's the main reason why they canceled MEAC sports for the fall, because they're trying to prevent the spread of COVID-19, which is something that I support and I do respect. However, athletes are still allowed to practice, but they can't compete. And I'm assuming that there will be, other rules and stuff put in place during practice to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. So, that's really good. I really like that. So seeing that is clear, I'm gonna move to the next topic. Okay, let me get that in. You'll have to answer 10 questions a day, regardless your health and temperature will be checked every day, or you cannot practice. Okay, so there you have it. As I said, for practice, you have to be checked every single day. Your temperature gotta be checked, and if I would assume that if your readings are not right, then you can't practice, and you're gonna have a series of questions to answer pretty much every day. So that's a procedure or protocol that was put in place for practice specifically. So I guess Coppin is on top of their stuff. I hope all the other MEAC schools are on top of their stuff too, because we're trying to get back to competing sooner rather than later. So that's really good. But we're pretty much talking about schools and education, and that is pretty much what this live stream tonight is all about. It's pretty much about school and education, and how we can make the best of the opportunities. Um, yeah. um, Pretty much it's about making the best of the opportunity that we're given, and it leads me to another topic. Another light bulb went off because I read another article from a Trinidadian, and he pretty much stated that out of high school he straight for a contract, a shoe contract. He didn't think about going to school and getting an education, because at the time it was more for him. He thought it was you know it was best to just go straight into the pro life. And that is something that I think it flies under the radar a lot, because a lot of athletes, especially in Jamaica, where there's so much talented athletes, they tend to go for a shoe contract early compared to trying to get an education, whether it's there in Jamaica or it's here in the US. And I think that you know having a solid education is definitely something that you want to have as an athlete, because that is what you're going to fall back on if track and field or any sport that you're doing fails you. So you know I think that is something that really doesn't get a lot of attention. And while I was reading this article, he really, in my opinion, he felt some type of way about his situation, and he really participated in doing that interview to send a message to other athletes who are thinking about doing the same thing that he did, because he pretty much highlighted what he did as a mistake. Because if he could have went back, he would have chose to get an education compared to just going pro. And personally, I think that's the best thing to do, because regardless of what happened, you will always have your education. That's something that will never go away. That's something that you're gonna have for life. You could take a shoe contract tomorrow, and within 2 weeks you get an injury that you just don't recover from. It's not that people are being negative when they encourage you or advise you to go to school, try to get a degree. It's just that they're looking out for your best interest. And as I said, I see this happen. That is true. But how many athletes out there really scrutinize their shoe contract or ask for certain things? A lot of them don't. They're just quick to get that shoe contract because they think, okay, I'm rich, or I'm gonna be rich, so there's no need for me to get an education. Right? That's how a lot of them think. They're not thinking about, all right, I'm gonna get this shoe contract, but I want to go back to school, or I'm gonna try to do two courses each semester until I'm finished. Very few athletes think about that. A lot of them, they're just thinking about the money because that's what they see. They're not thinking about 4 or 5 years from now. They're thinking about right now. Well, Coach L, you might be right about that. A lot of them, they don't want to go to school. They see track and field or sports as a way or a means of getting rich. They just want that money. That's all they're looking at. They're not looking, they don't see that education until it's too late. They see it 5 or 6 years from now when their career don't go in the direction that they intended for it to go. And as I said, I've seen that in so many cases, and some of the coaches, they do encourage the athletes to try to get an education, but I don't know what is the reason, for them not to press towards getting an education, but a lot of them don't, and I don't know why. Well, see, it's not even their age that I think, plays a big role or factor. It's injuries. That is the main thing that really take a toll on a lot of these athletes. You're okay today, or you're okay for this season, but you don't know what next season is going to bring. You really don't know what's going to happen next season. And as I said before, you could get one simple injury, and that simple injury lead to a string of other injuries that you may not recover from for that season. And then your contract may expire, say next year, or say you get a 2-year contract. You get injured in your first year, and you're not able to perform as well as you're supposed to in your second year. Hold up, let me get that again, Coach X. I start reading my. If you go pro at the price, my opinion is to take the money and then prepare for your future with the money on your contract. Well, see, these are all valid points, but at the same time, a young mind with no mature support from somebody who understand the sport and understand life is not going to make those decisions, right? And I think that's the key thing. And I don't disagree, Coach. I don't disagree, Coach L. I really don't disagree. But how many agents are legit agents? And when I'm not targeting anybody by saying this, but when I say legit agents, I'm talking about agents who are looking out for the best interest of their athlete, and not just looking out for themselves, what they can benefit from it. Because remember, almost everything is a business. So those agents are going to be looking out for their money, right? The bigger the contract, the bigger their cut, right? And maybe if they try to get certain things signed into the deal, like, I think somebody mentioned tuition or something like that earlier in the chat, that might kind of delay things a lot. Yeah, but yes, Coach, it's 15%, but 15% of 200,000 is way bigger than 15% of 100,000. But as I said, the little details is what the athletes don't pay attention to. All right, I think I need to read that one from Coach L. Coach O. Track and field is worldwide. There are reasons you never see the amount of money in the and the athlete's contract. True. That's very true. That's a real valid point. That's a valid point. But at the same time, shouldn't the athlete be the one that benefit the most? I think so. And I think the team that the athlete has should be looking out for that athlete best interest. But too many times, as I said before, we don't see that happening. All right, I look at it like this. If there was in Jamaica, there's so like champs alone have so much athletes, like talented athletes. If half of those athletes should decide, okay, we're gonna try to get an education, we're gonna try to get scholarships to go to the U.S. to, get an education. I think that the quality of the performances that we would see here on the college, I'm going to use the word circuit, on the college circuit would be way higher. Like it would be much better. But a lot of them, they stay back there in Jamaica and try to train, but they're not getting that attention, the time that they need, to develop, because they're all shadowed by the stars that are already there. Yes, Coach X, it's a job of the parents, and I mean it is the coach, the high school coach that they're leaving should try to steer them in the right direction. But again, not all the high school coaches do that. Some of them do, some of them don't, and the parents may not be at that level, at that educational level, to help them make that decision. And this is something that I know for a fact. This is something that I'm 100% sure about. A lot of the parents, they're not, I mean, it is a serious issue, Coach X. A lot of the parents, they're not at that level educationally to help the kid or help make that decision. They see the same thing maybe the kid is seeing at the time, which is the money. So they're gonna go for that because they're thinking, okay, you're getting a $150,000 contract, then we're gonna be set for life. That's what they're thinking in their head. They're not thinking, okay, I think you should go get a degree in psychology or in business or anything like that. Because for more than one reasons. And I have to use Jamaica for example because I know their system. I know about, it's my country. I know about Jamaica, right? Jobs in Jamaica is hard to find. So even if the parents are going to think, okay, you should get an education first, right? How are you going to get a job afterwards? Maybe that's what they're thinking. So right then and there, they're going to be like, okay, all right, we go for the money, which is not the smartest thing to do. But again, a lot of the parents, they don't think when you see technically you see 100,000 in front of 100,000 US dollars in front of you on a table. You think they're going to be thinking straight? No, they're not. They maybe they won't even, they're not able to take their eyes off that paper. They're living. All right, let me get to some of these. So the biggest problem in youth sports that they are living in the true, that is like the comments from both of you guys are spot on. But these are the problems. What are solutions that we could So you thought I was American, Coach L? Good one. No, I'm from Ghana. Hold up, I totally missed that one, Coach L. I missed that one. I might have to look at it again. See, you're not gonna hear about Christian Coleman. You hear about the real big ones. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I think we need we need, I think the athletes need better support from the parents and the coaches, and I would say the schools in general, because for track and field in Jamaica, the schools benefit so much. So I think they should put the same amount of effort into Madagascar. You funny. And that's true, Coach X. Basketball does, have a higher, they pay way higher than track and field, so that's true. But yeah, the schools really need to help a lot of these athletes because they benefit a lot from champs alone. They benefit a whole lot, so they need to put more time and more effort into making sure that all these athletes that are leaving high school, are better off in life, and they're actually making the right decision, whether it's to take a contract or get a degree. If they're going to take a contract, at least have them try to complete the degree in, I don't know, maybe 6 years. Do something, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to run forever. You won't. Not everybody could go till they're 40 like Kim Collins, or 42 for Kim, and 38 for Justin Gatlin. So it's not everybody could run for that long. And after that, what happens? You just live off the little money that you made? I don't, well, if you weren't smart with that money, then I don't think it's gonna last. So I think the way out, all right, let me get that comment. Will that stem the problem? Do you think building a club, in these areas, as you mentioned, like in Boston, Oregon, will that stem the problem? Because the problem is we're ending up with athletes with no with no tertiary education, or I would say college degrees. They call it the same thing. It would be nice, but at the same time, what would be the success rate? No, I said Boston or. It's not about the hype, Joseph. I think it's we just I think there's just something lacking where, like, right between moving from high school to college, or I would say from high school to pro. And that is true, Mr. That's what I think I saw Rayon just now, but I'm sitting right here. So who's that? My twin brother? But you're totally correct. A lot of them, they really don't care about these athletes. They just care about that money. I'm making the money, so why care about what's going on with you? I shouldn't care. That's how they. A lot of people. We need to understand this. Everybody think differently. So we're having a discussion here, as educated individuals, but at the same time, someone who might be less educated is gonna think differently. So we got to take. I mean, no. There's not really, as Coach X said, there's not really a comparison, because one sport is idolized more than the other. So it's not Rayon, it's Rivon or Ravon. But why is your last name Lawrence, sir? I thought I was the only Lawrence. That Coach L. That's why we call him Coach L, because he's not the original. He's a generic. So we call him Coach L. I'm Lawrence. Isn't that what it is, Coach L? But yeah, I think I'm just messing with you, Lawrence. But I really think that worldwide they need to pay more attention to athletes transitioning from high school, whether it is going onto the pro circuit or getting a college degree. Because Noah Lyles, he went straight from high school to pro, right, Coach L? We have no idea whether he is. We have no idea whether he is gonna go back to school afterwards, or he's actually getting a degree throughout, his pro career. So we definitely, those are things that we definitely have to think about and pay attention to. You guys have a whole. You guys have a whole lot of input, as always. But yeah, what do you guys think, is a good solution? What do you guys think is a good solution? What can be done to help some of these athletes make the right decision? Not go down that road of, taking a contract and not get an education afterwards or throughout the process. Or take the contract opposed to getting an education. What do you think? What do you guys think would be, a good solution, or at least something that could help, kind of narrow the gap of the ones who succeed and don't succeed, whether it's on the track or off the track? Because I think at the end of the day, that's the ultimate goal, to have more, productivity in society from each individual. Coach Al, what do you think? Maybe what I'll do is I'll put a poll in the community section of my channel asking that question: college or contract? Which one should high school athletes choose? I think I'm gonna do that and see what the voters are gonna say about it. And I think I might need to put an option that state depending on the size of the contract, because a lot of people are gonna say it depends on the money, the amount of money that the athlete is getting. I'm almost certain. But personally, I think we need to put something in place for these athletes who are leaving high school. I don't know, maybe a small association or something to help, with the decision making for these athletes. I totally agree, Coach L. All right, so you say get an education. That's what I think. See, and, yeah, they should focus on education. They really should. I think that's the best way out. There's too much athletes that took the contract, and then at the end of the day they end up with nothing, or end up working some mediocre job because they had no solid education to go back to after track and field, or after whatever sports that they're in. You say it's poor communication. I mean, I think that's a part of it. Poor communication is a part of it, but I think ignorance is a part of it as well. I think ignorance is a really great has a great impact on it. Also, I think that greed too, because look at it this way: if I'm a coach and I'm coaching pro athletes, if I could get 20 pro athletes, even if I'm almost certain that some of the athletes are not gonna really fare off well, they have to pay me. That's more money for me as the coach, right? And as Lawrence said earlier, they don't care about the athletes, so they're just thinking of themselves at that point in time, which should not be the case. So I think those are things that really need to get some attention, or really need to be assessed throughout the world, not just in Jamaica or in America. I would say it's a worldwide thing. And if we could, if well, if we learn from a lot of the mistakes that other people make, then I think we should be fine. But I don't think that's the case. I think people are still making the same mistakes that others already made. But whatever we can do to spark a change, that would be awesome. I hope some of my viewers are able to see the comments in the chat, and pretty much learn something from it. See, those are all things that we really can't do. But as I said, I like the input. I like what you guys are saying, and I hope the viewers pay attention to the chat as well, because that's, even though I'm speaking, that's where a lot of the action is. That's where you guys share a lot. So I hope they do pay attention to the chat, and they get the message that I'm trying to send, because it's pretty much the same message that I think the athlete was trying to send. Education first. Your track career is important, but you could do both, and that's what college is. That's what NCAA track and field is. You get to run and get an education at the same time. When you're finished with your 4 years, you could go on to being pro. There's nothing in the way of that. Nothing stopping you. If you're a good athlete or a great athlete, I mean, yeah, some of them don't get a 4-year contract, coaches. A lot of them, they start out with a 2-year contract. And I don't think a 2-year contract is a solid contract. But they take it and they run with it, hoping that their performance will improve over those 2 years, and they'll get a bigger contract, maybe a 4-year contract the next time around. sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So again, I just feel like, they need to make better decisions and not make mistakes that other athletes have made in the past. You know, if and the parents could, as Coach Hicks said, parents could help or try to help their kids make, good decisions or better decisions. If they themselves don't understand, they try to seek, help from someone else who do, understand the situation. True. That is true, Coach L. Yeah, so I just want to thank everybody for being here. You say for if you only get a 2-year contract, you go to school. If you get a 4-year contract, then you could give it a chance. That's pretty much what I get. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. You guys always show up. I really appreciate that. And again, I will be posting a poll on my YouTube channel in the community section. I'm also going to be posting stuff here and there on Facebook and on Instagram, so you guys can follow me over on Instagram and Facebook as well. I really post like races and stuff on Twitter, but I haven't been posting a lot there. But you could check me out there as well. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you like what I'm talking about, or you like what I'm doing. So until next week, guys. Peace. See, oh, hold on. See, Coach, you can't do that. Why you wait until I'm ending, then you gonna say that? I don't have a that's a splendid idea, and I'm trying to. I didn't want to spoil it, but seeing that you already said it, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm trying to set up things where I could do that. It hasn't gotten to that stage yet, but it's really close. I'm in the process of doing that where I could have guests, on my live stream. So you have nothing to worry about. More than likely you're gonna be the first one, because I like the whole controversy of having different opinions and everything. So yeah, I'm working on that. I'm working on that. So hopefully you don't know if it's gonna be next week or the other week, but I'm just saying I'm working on it. So guys, see you guys next week. Peace.